I'm just gonna start it off here. I'll just start off with what tomorrow is, and then we'll work our way back forward. We'll see where this goes. So today is October 9th, like I said, and tomorrow is October the 10th. And it has been now 14, and that means it would be 14 years since the day I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed with ALL, leukemia, so it was acute lymphoblastic leukemia. I should know this. I'll put the name here, but I was diagnosed with ALL, leukemia, at the age of 8, and that day was just, it was a tough day to say the least. Maybe if you guys want to know more about that day, I would be more than happy to share about it. I consider that the day that I still choose to celebrate that day for me, just because that's my dog Jessie in the background. But I still choose to celebrate that day despite sometimes I get a little little head nod when I tell people that I'm celebrating that day or what that day means to me. And I usually just do a lot of thinking around this time of the year, prior to this day and afterward, and just depending on where I am in that my headspace, or just me personally, physically, where I am around that time that year, and just memories come pouring in. Sometimes new ones that I even forgot about. I choose to celebrate that day because I'm like, you know what? It's just another year that can mark on my calendar that I got this far, and I've accomplished X, Y, and Z in the meantime. And in a way, it is kind of like my rebirth in a way, because although I was 8, that day, that news, that everything changed the trajectory of my whole life as I knew it, as my family knew it. So yes, I keep saying sorry, I'll get better, but sorry, no, we won't apologize, we'll get through this. Anyways, like I said, let me just, so if I can count years right, that would mean it's been 14 years since that day. And I even can still recall, in a way, that morning, what it smelled like, what it looked like, and everything. And I will insert pictures, not that you guys won't believe me, but just so you can see the difference and the outcome of sorts of what this is all turned into. But in a way now, I guess where I am now, because it has taken me so much time, and there's even still a lot to uncover or unravel, but I want to say at this point I'm just so proud of myself and how far I have come in terms of like my survivorship and speaking about it, and as I continue to heal those wounds and scars that aren't visible to the naked eye and everything, to everyone else, that I still had. There were wounds that I got during and a little bit after I was done with chemo, but they were there, but no one else could really see them. It was, my mental health was a very, it was a thing I struggled with a lot, and I kept to myself in fear of causing fear in others, such as like my parents and those like close to me. So I kept those all inside, and therefore it has just been a journey, like I said, and I would love for all of you to join me. And today I just kind of wanted to talk about, just make it brief, not too long, and maybe eventually I will film a longer one, maybe about the day I started, literally the diagnosis, what happened, from the way to the doctor, what happened in the doctor's office, to, you know, the hospital, the days that followed, and then what would be thereof after, of course. So, but today I just wanted, in a way, to celebrate survivorship, and of course there's all kinds of survivorship, and it looks different for everybody. For me, the way I define it, in a way I haven't really even defined it, because I feel like it's just a evolving thing that has been, for me, my experience, because I don't even remember a day where my doctor was like, "You're a cancer survivor, congratulations, woo," you know. For me, it was the day that I was in remission, and it wasn't communicated to me to like that oh, now you're cancer free and all this stuff. I still had to take a lot of precautions. To be a survivor, you know, it's just going, it's trying your best to stay afloat, to survive whatever it is that life is putting in front of you, that is keeping you from achieving something that you want, that you need. So that, you know, just bear with me there. And from, at least from my survivorship, like I said, there was a lot to uncover. Of course, if I already have posted the pictures, you can see I was in the cusp of, I was a child, and then I went into my preteens by the time I was done, and I looked completely different than what the norm would, than the beauty standards that obviously were put upon us, even if I hadn't done chemo and everything. And after being in a bubble for 3 years, you get so comfortable. I was very comfortable in my own skin, but yet when I went into school and everything, I was confronted with the real world, right? Like I said, survivorship. So, I don't even know where I want to go with this, but so yeah, you know, there's middle school, there was high school. High school was amazing for me, to say the least. You know, it was amazing, and kind of, that's where I believe I started having what was, I guess, my mental issues come about, and they were coming through in many ways, in ways that were, I did have moments where I just wanted to be sad and all of that. But then I believe that being in theater and everything allowed me to get some of those emotions out, and especially being like creative with it and everything like that. Now, I think now from experience that if you don't deal with, of course, something as traumatic that I went through, if you don't deal with that, it'll come about again later on in your life. It'll just pop up in little ways and here and there, and that definitely happened to me when it hit me in the face once I went to college. And it's not like I went through something traumatic there, but it was just the high intensity of stress. Although it wasn't the same kind of physical stress that I experienced when I was sick, and mental stress and all of that stuff, but I went through, I guess, little triggers like that in school, that, and especially like I moved away from home and everything. So I think those similar feelings are what caused me to be sad again and depressed again, and etc, etc, etc. So thankfully I seeked help on campus when it was already, like, when it got really, really bad, and I wouldn't mind talking about that either. Thank God for that experience, and where I am now. And like I said, survivorship, and why I celebrate October 10th. I might get emotional. Sorry. But I am emotional. We'll get to know each other like that more. I'm only human. Too bad. Yes, I choose to celebrate that day because it's just another day that I'm alive. Simple as it is. So, like I said, it's like I fought survivorship. I survived it. I fought for the days that I had ahead. And I'm very thankful for that. And I'm very thankful for everybody that had any big or small part in it, versus, I mean, not versus, even if it was a prayer, a thought, a card, a call, you know, just my doctors, my nurses, just everybody, I thank from the bottom of my heart. And so, you know, it's okay to still get emotional. Crazy how these feelings just stick with us. But yeah, I choose to celebrate my diagnosis day as well as the day that I went into remission. So that'll be another video as well. And so yeah, that's why I'm here to share, and I really want this channel will evolve, I guess, or just be different things that I think are worthy enough to share with you all. And that includes sharing a big piece of me, which is me being a cancer survivor, me being a Mexican American daughter of my parents, me being the youngest of three girls, me being, you know, there's just so many layers, I believe, to every person, and just like that, there is to me as well. Anyways, I just wanted to say hello and that you guys are amazing. Thank you for listening, and I hope to share more with you all. Yeah, I have a good feeling about this. I do. I really do. So I leave it at this. What is to come, right? That is what I thought about. That's where I was, or thought about. No, that is where I was 14 years ago, the 9th, right before the 10th. And here was this young, yeah, you can't really, I mean, you can get younger than 8 years old, but yes, I was young, to say the least. As an 8-year-old, you think you have the whole world and time ahead of you. You're not thinking about these things. And so I would just like to say and leave it at this: life is gonna throw a lot of curveballs your way. So many. Some of them you might expect them, other ones without notice, and it's gonna, sometimes it will just be brief, but it will be very impactful in your life. And sometimes it's just gonna seem like forever. It's gonna seem like an eternity, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, or just, you know, when it would all end. But I think, you know, at least for that part, I did make it to the other side, and I want to share that with you all. And what is to come for me now, well, that's what we'll find out. And like I said in my post earlier today, I said, you know, and many people have said it, life doesn't really happen to you, it happens for you, or these events. And I think it takes time. It took me a lot of time to gain perspective and to gain different kinds of perspectives of what I went through. And it's important to talk about these things, even if, you know, you're afraid that you're gonna hurt other people's feelings, that you're gonna hurt your family's feelings. It's okay, because we need to talk about it, and no one should feel alone about it either. So that's why I'm sharing my story, to see if I help any other survivors out there to make it a bit easier for them. That's all I want. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye. Did y'all hear that? It's Meg the Stallion. I won't say as much anymore, but